Okay, I guess we are live now. Good morning. It is Monday, August 30th, and we are here talking about success habits. So it's 2 days left of August, so technically the beginning of September. So we're going to go right into the success habit of the month. And the success habit of the month is one I think a lot of us are going to need, which is why I put it in here with all of the stuff going on, going back to school, um, just things that are going on in our world. And it's changing your thoughts to change your attitude, right? So Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. And it's all about how we perceive something to be. And so we can't control what's going on around us. We can't control any of the thing that's going on in the world. We can't control what's going on around us, but we can control our relationship to it, how we perceive it, and how we react to it. And that's what we're going to talk about this entire month of September. So we're going to get right into it. So changing your thoughts. So I think everything that has ever happened in your life, in the world, has begun as a thought. Someone thought of an idea, or someone thought of a problem to solve, or someone had a thought that turned into taking action, that turned into creating. And so that's why it's so important that we really manage our thoughts. We really target those and we really manage what we're thinking. Now, the one thing that I wanted to talk about first is how to combat the negative thoughts. We know that our thoughts are important. We know that then what we say to ourselves in our mind is important. And then we know what we say to ourselves out loud is important, or to the people around us. But we've got to come back and we've got to stop the process with negativity before it even comes out of our mouth, right? We've got to stop what we're saying to ourselves. We've got to nip that in the bud. And that's one of the most challenging things to do, is to nip it in the bud, like monitoring your own self-talk, because we all are our own worst enemies, right? We're our own worst enemies because we're going to be the hardest on ourselves. We're going to judge ourselves the hardest. We don't see ourselves as clearly as people do around us. And so we take the imperfection of being human and we amplify it. So that's what I really want to talk about today. And the things that I'm going to talk about, I'm actually taken straight out of an ebook that we have for you guys. And I'll put a link to it, maybe if I can find it, an ebook that we have on, here it is, on self-talk habits. Okay. The ebook is Self-Talk Habits, 12 Habits That Create Negative Self-Talk. So I'm not going to go over all 12 today. I am going to go over the top 6. We're going to talk about what they are and then some solutions for you to fix it right now. And then I'll put the link for you guys to download this book in this post so that you'll have it. You can go ahead and download it and get the rest of it and get started on changing those thoughts first and foremost. Okay. So habit number one is the infamous I'm fine, right? I'm fine, right? So most of us don't even want to admit that we have negative self-talk. And it's because we don't want to be vulnerable. I mean, that's just the truth of it. I don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable. It's not a really comfortable place to be. And it's hard to admit that things aren't all okay. As parents, we do this to each other all the time, when if we would just admit what's going on with our kids, we won't be able to help each other. As business owners, we do this all the time because no one wants to admit that things might not be going exactly the way we plan, which why not? I mean, things don't go the way we plan all the time. So the fix for this is just to realize that it's normal to be negative and everyone's going to feel this way on occasion. All right. Denying it exists, though, is not going to help us solve it. And it's going to lock you into just being negative and not looking for solutions, right? Our brain is so powerful. So if we don't even acknowledge or make ourselves aware that it's a problem, then we're not going to be seeking solutions and people aren't going to be able to help us, or solutions aren't going to be able to come. So saying I'm fine is just, you need to acknowledge it's okay. I call it, like, years and years and years ago. And I still have the chair, but I would only allow myself when I was first in business. And I would just feel like the world was ending and everything was going horribly wrong. I couldn't make things work. And I have a designated sniveling chair. And the rule with the sniveling chair is you can only sit in the chair for 15 minutes. That's it. You can snivel, you can whine, you can complain, you can moan, you can just like feel all the feelings of the moment that you're in. But after those 15 minutes, you've got to come up and then you got to switch your focus to being solution oriented. So if you need a designated sniveling chair, take it, right? But don't continue to act like things aren't broken. Don't continue to act like there isn't something that needs to be fixed, because that doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anyone around you. And it doesn't help us all make the world a better place. Okay. All right. So the negative habit number 2 is it's not my fault. Sometimes when things don't go right, we want to blame everyone else. Like, hey, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. But we are all in this together, right? We're all in this together. So I may not have done, I tell my students this all the time, I am still responsible. Goes back to the rule of success that we haven't covered yet, which is take 100% responsibility. So I am still 100% responsible. Like I am acting, I had a part in this. So I take responsibility for what was created. Okay. So again, if you don't acknowledge that there was something that maybe you could have done better, or something that you could have done to offset it, or that you could have taken a different action to improve it, again, you're going to get stuck in that cycle. Like, it's not my fault. And then it's going to be everyone around you always doing things to you, and you're not taking control of what you can control. All right. So the fix for this is to focus on what went right. What went right? And acknowledging where maybe you were wrong, or maybe you did do things incorrectly, or maybe there was a better way to get things done. Okay. So acknowledge that what you're doing right and give yourself credit for that, but also be willing to acknowledge where things were like, or maybe they were mediocre, or maybe they were subpar. Okay. When you accept the blame, you accept your role in the outcome, and then you get to learn from it, and then you get to grow from it, and then you get to see things happen faster, right? When we acknowledge and we grow from the things, we can start seeing patterns before they get to maybe a negative result. All right. So habit number 3, it's not going to work anyway. Why should I even try? It's not going to work anyway. This always happens to me, right? And this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because we all know we get what we focus on, right? We get what we focus on. And if we say that out loud, again, the brain is such a powerful thing. We speak it, our brain says, okay, you don't want it to work out. And then that we create that for ourselves. Okay, this one's really sneaky. So if the fix for this is, you've got to ask yourself, what can go wrong with planning a project what can go wrong when you're planning out a project if you have a solution, right? So basically we're saying, plan it anyway. Begin the planning, know that things are going to go wrong. But if you go in the beginning thinking that something's going to go wrong, do you think you'll have a strategy for it if it happens? Yes. Right. As a family, we always have a plan A. Well, not so much now, because it's just me and Mr. Huff. But when we had the kids, we'd always have like a plan A, B, C, or D, because we would never know, either with the military or with me being in business by myself, or the kids in all their sports, a coach could change something. So we always would try to be flexible and have some plans for some outcomes that we could possibly predict. Okay. That's how you make sure that you plan for it, and that even if it doesn't work out way A, it could work out B, or it could work out C, or it could work out D. But it starts giving you the flexibility, and starts giving you a different perspective, a broader perspective, where you expect it to work out. You're just not attached to how it works out, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Habit number 4, no one's going to like it. No one's going to like it. They don't like my product. They don't like my service. They're going to judge it. Okay. And no one is always going to be on board with what you're doing. Okay. So you have to it's just being aware that just because you created it, there are going to be people that it doesn't resonate with. There are going to be people that don't like your service. There may even people that don't like you. I had a couple of divorced couple that brought their daughter to me, and the husband loved me and the ex-wife hated me, right? I delivered the service the same way, but they had completely different reactions to it. So I talk about this more in my book on how to punch failure in the face, because you've got to get attached to why you're doing what you're doing. Why is it important? Why is this what you're doing? And then the fact that people don't like it is easier to take, because you then just understand that they're not the ones that were to receive it in the first place. Like they're not going to receive that from you, and it's okay, right? They're going to receive their stuff from somebody else. All right. So satisfy yourself, step into your purpose, keep focusing on doing the best that you can do, because that's all we can ever do. Focus on doing your best. And then it's easy to say, right? Simple, but not easy. And forget about what the rest of the world thinks. I like how Grant Cardone says it. Like me doing these lives and me putting myself out there a little bit more, it makes me nervous. I don't want to be judged. I don't want the negativity either. However, in order to make the impact that you need to make, or we need to make in this world, we have to collect people who don't agree and don't like what we're doing too. That's how you know you're starting to make a difference. And so if you kind of change your perception on the negative, on the people that maybe don't get what you're selling, or don't agree with what you're doing, or whatever they think, then just know that you're starting to reach the people that need to hear what you have to say. And keep the focus on that and not on the people the detractors. All right. All right. Habit number 5. What if I'm wrong? When you second guess yourself all the time, it's impossible to ever feel satisfied with your choices. And the uneasiness is going to plague everything you do. And then it's going to come out in what you do. And going back to that self-fulfilling prophecy, if you are second guessing it, you're not going to be able to tell someone with certainty what you can do for them, or what you can create for them, or why they should do what you're asking them to do, right? If you're a manager, or you're on a project, or you're a business owner, or you're a salesperson, or you're a teenager wanting your parents to do something, right? Whatever it is, if you're second guessing yourself, you are not going to have that certainty that you need for them to feel and understand and really hear what you're saying. Okay. So if you're feeling that, then slow it down a little bit, not too much, right? Because we're not big fans. We're not big fans of slowing everything down to where it takes months and months and months, but slow down your decision-making process and make sure that you've got all of your ducks in a row, all of the steps. Like, you just make sure that you do your due diligence, that you've done the best that you can do, and that you understand the what could happen, and you've got that plan. And then make your decisions and your choices from there. Okay. So by becoming more mindful, you're going to feel more confident in your decisions, and you're not going to question yourself as much. Just know it's normal to have some questioning in there, right? It's normal. It's kind of going back to number 1. We got to attach to why we're doing it, why we believe it, why we think it's the best course of action first. But it's normal to have that little, right? Right? It's normal to do that. But just don't let it stop you from taking the action, and don't let it stop you from taking the steps that you need to take. Okay. All right. Number 6, I am happier alone. Right? This is the lie that we tell ourselves, right? Because most of the time, yes, there's a need for solitude. And some people are introverted and they prefer that. But as human beings, we need community. As human beings, we need each other. So the idea that you work alone is easy to justify, right? You're introverted, you don't like people, whatever the reasons you justify for it. But you also have to have that external community for input. You have to have the people around you to help you. I like Kim Walsh Phillips says, you can't see the label from inside the bottle. And so you need that perspective from outside, from people you trust, for sure, from people who understand what you're trying to create, and people who know, love, and trust you already, and they know where your intentions are, right? So if this is where you're unhappy alone, you still have to get out once in a while. You still have to create some relationships out into the world, right? Because unfortunately, whatever you want to do or be in the world, you can't do it alone. We cannot do these things alone. Like, we're human beings. We are meant to work together. We are meant to be in a community. We are meant to help and support each other. That is how we work best. It is also very challenging to do, right? Which is why it's easy to shrink back and it's easy to try and do everything, because when we step out of that zone and we start, going out with and asking and getting other people's opinion, we have to gird our loins and stand up and take criticism along with praise. But I love what T. Harv Eker says. And I go to this a lot because it is completely and utterly true, just like the example I gave you of the divorced couple with their daughter, is that it doesn't matter if people hate you, because it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with how they feel around you. And it doesn't matter if people love you, because it has nothing to do with you. It's how they feel around you. And can you control how they feel around you? No. You're just you, being you, doing you in the world. And I want to believe living up to your potential and being the best version of yourself. And when you're doing that, you can't control how people feel around you. Your job is just to do what you feel and you're being led to do, or you feel what your purpose is to do. Okay? So, knowing that, I hope that will help you step out and maybe seek out some relationships that you were afraid to do before. Okay. Now, I just went over the first 6 today. I'll put the link for the book in there in the chat, so you guys can go download the full ebook and get the rest of them. I'll just give you a quick recap though. Number 7 is I don't have time for. Number 8 is I can just skip lunch. Yeah, guilty, totally guilty of that one. Number 9 is my friend said it was a bad idea. Number 10, it's not like I'm any good at it anyway, right? Number 11 is I don't have a problem. And number 12 is I don't need any help. All right. So those are the other ones. So if you would like to get the rest of the book and get these and start looking at them, then I will definitely get the link for you. So I would like for you to download it and integrate this, because what we're going to be talking about as we go on is how to eradicate the negative thoughts. And we're also going to talk about how to change our thoughts and change the way we talk to ourselves and then to other people to start changing what shows up for us. Okay, it's very exciting, right? Right? Success habit for September. Change your thoughts with your attitude and words. What? All right. So today, I would like for you to go and click on the link that I put in the comments and download the book, start seeing which ones apply to you, and apply one. Pick one, because there's more than one that applies, right? We're human. Number 2, pick one and then implement the solution today. It's still early. It's 9:20 in the morning right now. Still early. So pick one, implement the solution today, and then let us know what's going on. How's it working? How different do you feel? And what's changed as a result of it? Okay. So that's what I'd like for happen today. See you on Wednesday. We're talking about how to stay motivated, going right into the fall. Everyone's back at school, and staying motivated and keeping focus is what we're going to do. And I look forward to seeing you guys then. Bye.